Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Matthew McConaughey.
Brad Gilmore.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The one and only Sydney Sweeney joins us. Sydney, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Tom Hanks and Robin Wright in my favorite movie of the year. Guys, thanks so much for joining the show.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you. Jessica Alba and Lizzie Mathis. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Kevin Costner joins us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
One of my all-time favorites, Vince Vaughn, joins us right now. Vince, thanks, man.
Oh, great to be with you, Brad, and great to be talking to Houston. Good morning to you.
We got Owen Wilson. We got Judy Greer. Thanks for joining the show, guys.
Thank you.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
We got Anna Sawai joining the show. Anna, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Brad.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking to talk to me funny, lad.
Megan Trainor.
Thank you so much, Brad. You're awesome.
Paris Hilton, the infinite icon herself, is on the show. Paris, love the film.
Thank you. I'm so proud of it.
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat.
Brad Gilmore! And join me right now. You know him, exactly. You've seen him already this year in Young Washington, which is one of my favorite movies of the year. And he's back to talk about his new film. He's joining us right now, Mr. Kelsey Grammer. How you doing, sir?
I'm well. How are you, Art? Brad. Good to
I'm
see
doing well. I'm doing well. You know, let's jump right into it, man. You've had I think you had kind of an incredible 2026 when it comes to these really interesting and unique projects. Obviously, I mentioned Young Washington. There's something big coming in December that I think that you're involved with that everyone's talking about. But then this movie, Lars, Shrike Walks the Night. What was it about this film when you read the script or it was approached to you that was like, oh, wow, yeah, that is interesting?
Right. Well, the writer-director, Gary Walco, has been a friend of mine for almost 40 years. We have toyed with the idea, flirted with the idea of working together on several different projects. All of them are so unique and interesting that I'm really drawn to Gary. That's why we stayed friends all this time. I mean, if he weren't really gifted, who knows whether or not we'd be talking about this right now. But he showed up at my door. He said, I really want you to take a look at this script I've got. And so I did. And I called him a couple of days later and I said, Gary, I really like this. I think I should play Lars. And he was like, I hadn't thought of that. I thought maybe you would just finance it.
Maybe you can give me some money. Yeah.
I said, well, Gary, so he called me back a couple of days later. He said, I've worked through it. Yes, you'd be great in the part. So that was what we established. It is a very low budget movie. Not in a bad way. I mean, I think that kind of filmmaking actually made it a greater challenge and maybe makes it a more concise film. You know, I mean, it's very to the point, very direct, very accurate. That's what I like about it. It's not a big budget, a lot of distractions. There are things that encounter this character on his voyage. So it's a bit like the Odyssey, but it just doesn't have the budget.
But you know what, when you talk about like whether you call it a budget constraint or what have you, it makes you measure twice, cut once, right? To make sure you're getting exactly what you need. But also sometimes those constraints, I think, breed the best form of creativity because you don't have this endless money. So it's like, how can we effectively tell this particular story in the best way possible?
Yeah, and the human story is the thing that really matters. This idea of like, what do we mean? Why are we here? Where do we come from? Where am I going? These are the questions Lars Shrike asks as he's walking the night. It's a wonderful, wonderful film, and I was really impressed with it. And Gary was a very clear filmmaker. He's so good. We would show up on a set. We'd be there. We'd arrive at 10 at night, and we'd be shooting all night, freezing our asses off. It was an extraordinary experience because we were in the desert out near Palm Springs, but not in the nice part. And he found locations that he's been aware of for 20 years. I mean, he's given some real thought to this film. And so his Odyssey, this Lars Shrike Walks the Night, is just as compelling as any great story I've ever been involved in. I was really impressed with it.
Well, I think when you also read, if anybody reads the log line of the movie, or the little small description, someone who's lost in the desert knows only his name, that he's escaped. That's enough to go make you lean in and go, okay,
Yeah.
what's going on here? And
Yeah.
then the fact that when you talk about wanting to work with him for so long, Gary, and the fact that this takes place kind of in a universe all to itself, right?
Mm.
There's an extended part over decades that he's played out in this story. Does that change your preparation at all? Do you have to go watch those, or do you stick with what's on the page?
Well, for me, it doesn't change it at all. I mean, I'm one of those hairpins as an actor who, I don't go check out former great performances of a well-known role because I think, well, I don't want to make somebody else's choice. I want to make my own. Uh, Really great writing, really great famous roles will tend to lead an actor or an actor's sensibility in the same direction. You may end up doing some things that are fairly similar to what somebody else might have done, but I will never be guilty of being derivative.
So what are the conversations though like? Well, I mean, with Gary, when you're putting this together, I mean, did he have? You said he's very clear on his vision. Did he have
Right.
specific things that he wanted to make sure that you were were accomplished as Lars Strike?
He was willing to let me just roll with the punches. There were certain things that I suggested we do that he would say, "Oh yeah, let's do that for sure." Some of the running, some of the escaping, some of the escape movements, some of the huddling in a stone, whatever, in a shelter. Those were some my inventions, falling through the window of an apartment. He gets through a lot, this guy. But Gary had a clear vision, but a comfortable uh, style and directing with knowing that the canvas was going to be filled with what I brought to it. And so we agreed early on that we would shoot everything. Don't rehearse one without shooting it, because I believe that at least in this particular performance, what unfolded was probably more interesting in in as spontaneous a way as possible. So that if we could shoot the first time I was dealing with a situation, we should. And and then of course you do different setups, you do close-ups and stuff like that, change the
Sure.
camera angle. But that I think was really helpful to have that initial reaction be that first moment when the camera got it, and just it's basically coming right from me through that lens into somebody's eyeball. And I think and it bounces off that retina. It's like a personal engagement. And I think that's what I love about film for the same reason. It's actually far more personal than people think it is.
Oh, it's very personal, very intimate. And when you talk about a film like, we're talking about Lars Shrike Walks the Night. We're talking to Kelsey Grammer. When reading through those script, are you the type of actor that makes the notations? Do you think about the character? Do you try to do any of the backstory stuff, or do you really just stick with, okay,
Yeah.
I have a vision in my head for this. I don't need to over analyze too much.
Right. It would depend on the language,
Yeah.
whether or not I really thought I had to, conspire through it that much. But I would if it was necessary, I think. But in this case, um, my basic MO as an actor is I'll read a script a couple of times, and then I'll let it be, and I'll just sort of let it sort of gestate in my thinking, in my brain, in my whatever, my mechanism, and then when it comes time to shoot a scene, I review that just before we're going to shoot it. I run through it. I dedicate the line in my head a little bit, memorize it as best I can. If it's Shakespeare, of course, I'll memorize the actual words.
Sure.
Something else, it depends.
Yeah.
But if it's really, really profoundly good writing, really great, craftsmanship in terms of language, I will dedicate myself to learning it specifically. But in most cases, uh, a near miss is good. I mean, a guess is pretty good. It kind of gets it more organically connected to what I am and what the writer is at the same time. But in this particular instance, uh, we stuck pretty close to the script, but also had a real loose improvisatorial kind of ease about the way we went at the shooting. And Gary allowed me to say some things, some speeches that I kind of improvised a little bit, and it's a great blend, I think. I'm really happy with the movie. I mean, I really am, and I'm happy with the things we said.
Well, to be able to have that kind of collaboration too, and to really, find, sometimes it's not always directly on the page. You find it through the performance, and you're able to kind of bring it to life in a collaboration with the director. I guess like when you juxtapose this performance with Lord Fairfax, which I love that movie so much, and Fairfax had in that movie is one of my favorite lines of the year, where he talks about the property owner wants the lot next to his.
Yeah, it's a great line. Yep.
It's a great line.
Yep.
When you juxtapose those two characters together, one based in truth and in fact and in history, and one more of an amalgamation of such, you know, how do you approach those differently, or do you?
Yeah, you know what? I think you approach every role a little bit differently. You know, you got to do what must be done. Figure out the character, play it. You know, in terms of Lars Shrike, he's a literal guy with no forethought and no knowledge beforehand, so that it's a blank piece of paper. He's like being written on as you go, and it's kind of fascinating. That discovery was great to play, because I mean, he'd never had a can of soda. He'd never fallen through a window. Nobody'd ever kissed him before. I mean, no one had ever been nice to him. Even he didn't know anything. It was great, and to meet the people he meets along the way. I mean, it really is like the Odyssey. It's just a much smaller version production-wise.
Well, you know what? Congratulations on the year that you've had. Congratulations on this film in particular.
Thanks.
Lars Shrike walks the night. Mr. Kelsey Grammer. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, Brad.